Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. And no, I am not Michael Jimenez. This is Joe Garcia joining you all today. Hey, what's up, Tim Gonzalez? He goes, yo, an afternoon show today. Yep, it is an afternoon show today because it is going to be Thanksgiving tomorrow. So we're going to go ahead and have a quick show. No, Chris Gonzalez, Joe already quit his new job. No, actually, I just finished my shift at my new job. So right now, because I'm in training, I have my hours are from 7 a.m. to 3. I just finished my shift. So I came back here to go ahead and talk everything that has to do with San Antonio sports, man. David Atwater, yo, what's up? So without further ado, I don't have the nice graphic today because we're just doing things, we're just going to freestyle today. But we are going to have a heavy dose of San Antonio Spurs basketball. So without further ado, we're going to have the one and only Jeff Garcia, the host of the Locked On Spurs podcast and also the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio, joining us today. Jeff, how are you, man? You ready for Turkey Day tomorrow?
I'm ready for it. Happy Thanksgiving to you, your family, everybody else listening in. And do we really want to talk about the Spurs though? Or do we really
I don't know. We really want to talk about them, but we're going to talk about them because we have to. That is the hot topic here in the Alamo City right now. It is what is going on with the San Antonio Spurs, Jeff? And is it time to panic? Is the sky falling here in the Alamo City?
I can see it I can see the edge of the cliff on the horizon. And it's close. I don't think we're there yet, but it's pretty much doom and gloom right now among the city and the fan base, and it's just they're just getting beat down, like just beat up.
It's tough to watch, Jeff,
and it's so tough to watch. I went to the Clippers game, the first of that's back-to-back set they're having, and I'm watching the crowd. I'm like, oh my God, they're in it. Look, they're in the first quarter. And all that kept going through my mind is, just wait. It's any second now, it's going to happen. And just like in the snap of a finger, next thing you know, they're down 20 plus points. And it happens all and the numbers got worse, Joe.
They did.
The numbers got worse because initially the Spurs were competitive in periods 1 and 2. They were hanging in there for the most part. Now the trend now is they're only competitive in the first period. Now they're allowing 30 more plus points in periods 2, 3, and 4. It used to be and the worst period of those periods 2, 3, and 4 is the third period where they allow over 33 points. So they've regressed. So at least they were able to give everybody half a good show. And now they're only giving them a quarter of a good show before the wheels come off.
And you know what I was going to ask you, Jeff? What has some of the players, and not only the players, but you also had something interesting that Coach Pop had to say about this as well. What are some of the sound bites that you can give us, things that you've heard when you're going, and you're talking with the players and the coaches after the games?
Yeah, they're trying to be upbeat. Keldon Johnson was doing his best to put a smile on and not panic and kind of keep things in perspective. Devin Vassell, the last press conference he did before he got hurt, he stressed that this current team will look different as far as in more wins come game 30 and 40. So he's projecting, and that's games 30 and 40 where we'll see the tide turn. Popovich was, being upbeat. I know he said his comments after the last Clippers game didn't sit well with Spurs fans, and he said he could sleep well. He saw them competitive. And I was at the game. I'm thinking, like, are you sure about that, Pop?
We're looking at the same game, Pop.
Yeah. I don't know if there was that. But little by little, I think what's kind of starting to show for me is just this team doesn't have that star power. It doesn't. And look, I'm not the one to say it too. Popovich just said it in the last game too. He said this team doesn't have all stars. This team doesn't have star players. You look at the team they're playing tonight. There's 4 of them on one squad. Look at the team they play next. It's Klay Thompson. Maybe Curry. We don't know. Look at the team after that. It's Joker and Murray. So, look, it's becoming apparent this team just doesn't have that star player punch to contend with the big boys. yet. I know Victor's there, and it'll be some time before he gets to that level. He's still not getting the star quality treatment for the refs. He's getting bullied around, but that'll come in time. The potential is there with him. It's just got to ride it out. So maybe Devin Vassell returning tonight will keep them competitive somewhat throughout the game, but we'll see how he's been. He hasn't played a game in a while. We don't know if they're going to minute restriction him tonight because of this injury that he just dealt with. He says he's fine today after practice. The Spurs are going to play him tonight, but nevertheless, it's a tough out tonight.
And it doesn't get any better, Jeff, because the Spurs have 11 losses already on the season. They've only won 3 games. Their record's 3-11.
And I'd say it could have been worse. It should be worse.
I don't know how it could be much worse.
No,
than
it
this.
should be. They think about it. It took a Keldon Johnson last-second steal from Kevin Durant to get the game, and they barely won versus Houston in overtime. The only one they convincingly won was that one game in Phoenix, where that's when Wemby had the coming out party.
Yeah,
but they could have. Theoretically, this team should only have one win on the season so far.
Well, yeah, that is true. It could have been worse, But right now, as you're looking at the season stats for the Spurs, and let's be honest, Jeff, 3-11. You put that all together. How many games does that mean that the Spurs have played? Roughly about 14 games so far in the season, right? 82 game season. I mean, it's just not even a quarter of the way there, really, at this point. So early on, though, the numbers don't lie, And right now, the Spurs, their offensive rating. They're 29 out of 30 teams in the NBA.
Who's worse than them? Who's worse than them? Is it Memphis?
I don't know who could be worse than them. I haven't looked that up. I'm just going off of what the Spurs.
Detroit, probably.
It's probably going to be Detroit. They're up there too. Yeah. Their defensive rating, Jeff, they were 28 out of 30 teams. Now they're 27th out of 30 teams. They got
progress.
They made a little progress on the defense. Now, this is the thing that's surprising to me. Their pace, they're 5th out of 30 teams. Tells you that they have a young team, the youngest team in the NBA, and the Spurs like to get out and run. No surprise there. The surprising thing to me is how many points they're giving up. The opposing to the opposing team, the opposing team as far as their points and how many points they give up every single game. Right now, the Spurs are averaging right around 124.1 points a game that they're giving up to their opponents. That's good enough for ranking 28 out of 30 teams in the NBA. Their net rating right now, they're 30 out of 30 teams. They are the worst.
Man.
I mean, these numbers are just not good when you look at them. They're even worse than they were last season. I mean, how is that possible, Jeff, that they're this bad?
Another surprising stat, they're one of the best teams in the league as far as assists. Like, look at the assists. They average a lot of assists, but then that just goes to the players are not making their shots. We see them go in offensive droughts, and at least they're trying. At least that's a sign that they're trying to get everybody involved. But it's just not panning out. They just go in these dry spells. Popovich has talked about it in post game, saying, this offensive dry spells, like they just happen. It's like, I think what you're seeing, Joe, is just a team that if a team pops them in the mouth, they're done.
Yeah.
Like it just goes, I just shell shocks them. They're like, what do we do? And look, and look, again, not my words too. Cedi Osman. I was in that post game locker room, conference call, excuse me. And he said that, yes, this team does panic when they're holding on to leads. So that shows the maturity, that shows the needing to still develop, the cohesion, sort of figuring things out. Fine. Look, I get it. Joe, teams make runs. It happens. You can be up 20 points. Guess what? Your opposition is going to make a run. And timeout, and, then they come back and settle things down. That doesn't happen for San Antonio. It's a team makes a run, Spurs call timeout, and then they continue to make the run when they come out of the timeout.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe tonight will be different. Maybe this is the turning point. Maybe they need to be smacked up a bit, to wake up.
I forgot to go ahead and do something special for you. And I forgot that in this particular, because we're using the system that we use. We're strictly online right now. I didn't feel like getting all the fancy stuff ready and all that. So I don't have the money drop and the song for you, Jeff. But I did have the old graphic that we made you, and I put that up there on the screen right now. The one with the plane, with you with the steak and the gold chalice, the stacks of cash, and your diamond ring, and we got all that for you right now.
Wow, look at that.
Looking
That's
back on
the
old
school.
days.
That's the old one. That's the old one. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the one that I made for you recently. So if I would have had the other system up, we would have had the professional looking shot with you in front of,
Yeah.
the Ken's 5 studio where you're at.
Yeah.
You're part of the crew that was
The
talking
crew
about
there,
the
yeah.
Spurs, So
Yeah.
but
So I'm looking at the chats right now. Look who showed up. Is that Mike Jimenez? So Joe, he can show up for comments, but he can't show up to help you out.
he big timed you, man.
He big timed you. He big timed me.
Look at Mike Jimenez. Owners only meeting needed to get rid of Pop. I mean, Chris Leal was good coming at Jimenez in the chat too. Jimenez on a dry spell himself. I mean, the hate for one, Michael Jimenez, it's real, man. He's become like the most memed, I guess, the host that you could say of a podcast or a live stream in the city of San Antonio. He gets cooked on a daily, dude. I mean, it's San Antonio's favorite pastime, Jeff. Everybody jumps in it. Even you started. You're like, you all know what to do. Hashtag cook.
Yeah, exactly. But look, I mean, Joe. I mean, he helps you out. He goes there and he leaves you high and dry like that.
I'm telling you, man. He's and rightfully so, man. He's got his daughter in town. He's spending time with his daughter right now, and I would do the same thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Did I tell you I gave him his penance?
Oh yeah. What did you give him?
Yeah. So he has to come on with me tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day, early in the morning, to record a Locked On Spurs. I have proof via a text that he said he's down, and I will share that text if he big times me again.
Well, if you do need backup, Jeff, I'll be your backup number one.
Yeah, you'll be my backup. But don't worry about it. You ever notice every time we have Jimenez scheduled, we have to have backup for him.
No lies detected, man. So if you need backup, let me know. I'll stop the turkey dinner and I'll come in here real quick and be like, Jeff.
I'll text you. You're the backup then.
I'll be like, Jeff, we can knock this out. We got 15, 20 minutes, let's do this. And we've done that before while we're both at work.
Yes, we have. We've done that before.
I'm at work and I'm taking calls and I'm like, let's do this, Jeff. Let's get it done.
You see that comment that apparently he's blocking everybody now?
I didn't see that. I can't believe that he's blocking. How can you block people if you're going to go out right and just say this outrageous stuff half the time and then you're not allowing comments? Like, bro, come on, man.
He does it to himself, like you say. He does it to himself.
Look at it, Chris Leia. MCS never needs backup. Yeah, that's true. That is true. No lies detected.
We're gonna have to put Leha on backup too, just in case something happens.
We nicknamed Leha. Do you know his nickname?
What is it?
He's called the Enforcer. That's his new nickname that we gave him here in the group chat.
Why is he called that?
Because he's the enforcer, man. If somebody's saying something crazy, he comes out and he's always standing up for people. Yeah, he's the enforcer. Gotcha. He keeps people in check. But you know what we're going to do? Because this is going to be a short show. I'm not going to lie. But we're going to go ahead and give you a shout out, Jeff. So we're going to go ahead and play the little nice video that I made you here. So go ahead and check this out. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Oh, I played it, but I'm trying to play it again. But make sure you do go and check out Jeff. Does a great job over there with the Locked On Spurs podcast, your daily dose of Spurs content. Make sure you check him out and follow him on Twitter. You can follow him at Jeff G Spurs Zone, and you can also check him out on his YouTube channel, where you can find the replays and the premieres of the Locked On Spurs podcast. So for everything and anything that has to do with the San Antonio Spurs, Jeff Garcia is your guy. Make sure you go and check him out. And Jeff, I got to go and ask you, man, when do you think the bleeding is going to stop here for the team? Do you think that they're finally going to get a win tonight as they face the nephew again?
No, they're not going to do that. All it takes is just one of those guys that gets hot tonight, and that's it. It's done. because you got Sohan doing double duty, point guard, then defending the best player out there, like Kawhi or Harden, whoever. It just takes one of those guys, and one of those guys will break them. But we actually talked about that on today's Locked On Spurs with Rudy Campos. Like, we looked at the calendar. He said, where could the next win be?
It's going to be a while.
We predicted the Hawks game. The Hawks
Oh,
game
November
in San
30th?
Antonio. Yeah, we predict that one. That's where it could happen.
With DJ returning back, the prodigal son?
DeJounte, maybe that'll put some spice in the game and get the guys a little pumped up for that one, because DeJounte, who knows? Maybe DeJounte was right. Remember when he said 15
He
years?
was a Nostradamus.
Yeah, maybe he knew. Well, obviously he does. He was on the inside for a while. But, yeah, I think that could be it right there. My wild card win is actually against the Warriors. That's my wild card.
You know what we're going to do, Jeff? Since Mike Jimenez is here in the chat, we're going to call him out. You're right? And he said he never blocked anyone. He says he blames Elon Musk for not allowing comments. But you know what we're going to do, Mike? If the Spurs lose by 20 points tonight, I need you to take a video showing us that you are taking a shot of Fireball. If the Spurs lose by 20 or more tonight, put that up on the Twitter.
I see Leja's comment too right there on your show right now.
Yeah.
He says if we lose by more than 20, he's going to lose his damn mind. Well, guess what, Leja? It's going to happen.
You know what's going to feel? I'm going to feel bad for? If every time the Spurs lose by 20 or more, Mike has to take a shot. It's going to be a long season.
Yeah, it's going to be a very long
season. Well, the San Antonio Spurs, I agree. They might be able to best the Hawks on November the 30th. But, I mean, the schedule's not getting much easier for them. After the Clippers, they got the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Pelicans, the Rockets, the Lakers twice, back-to-back, the Pelicans again. And then they're going to have to face Giannis. I'm like, man, it's not getting any better, Jeff. After this, realistically, the only other, looking at their schedule, they have those back-to-back games against the Trailblazers. And let's face it, the Trailblazers are tanking. They're pretty bad. Yeah, the Jazz aren't really great either.
Did you hear the Scoot Henderson got assigned to the G League?
I did hear that.
Wow, the number 2 pick got sent to the G League. That's how bad it is for him.
Yeah, I mean, they were thinking that he was going to be the better of the two players from Wemby and him. Unfortunately, for Scoot, it has been Wemby that has been the better player. The numbers don't lie; they prove it. And unfortunately for Scoot, he's going to the G League, so he's got some things he's got to work on.
Yeah, speaking of numbers and rookies, you got Chet Holmgren. He's climbing up those charts fast, man.
Jeff, I'm scared.
I think it's way too early, but he's looking like the better rookie by an inch right now.
Yeah.
Just by an inch. I mean, look, Wemby did not have a good game against the Clippers. I mean, he shot the ball horribly, and then it was clanking shots and I mean, I don't know. I mean, then he goes into those disappearing acts where he won't do anything for periods 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pick a period, I'll have a little moment, and then that's it.
Yeah. I mean, that's not looking good, but the thing that I'm going to say here is we've been here many times before, Jeff. We're the OGs here. So we've been through these trying times, and we keep telling the fans, it doesn't happen right away. It takes time, and with the Spurs, them being the youngest team in the NBA, they're going through their growing pains right now. We thought they were going to be better than what they are right now. Even with Wemby, they were only able to get 3 wins on the whole season. And it's early on in the season, let's be honest. But with the Spurs having already 11 losses, the reality is, if this team already goes into December and they already had 15, 16, 18 losses, pretty much the season's over for them at that point. They're just playing at this point just to get experience. It looks like if that's the case, they're going to be another lottery team. Don't know what they're going to get as far as at the end of the day, as far as their lottery picks. But that's the reality of things. And that's happened in the past before David Robinson was selected. After David got injured that one season, the Spurs just barely won any games, and lo and behold, that turned into Tim Duncan. You paired him with David Robinson, another slew of characters. Somebody that, some people that came in that we know about now, such as Manu, such as Tony Parker, and it made a big difference. And that's what I think is happening with this team. They're young, they're in flux right now. They're showing that this team really doesn't have the talent to compete in the West, that they're lagging way behind, even though that they do have Wemby. The only way for me, honestly, to really have this cured is the Spurs are going to have to go ahead and make some trades in order to remain competitive. If they just strictly look to build in the draft, the team is only going to get younger. And when they get younger, that means that they're going to be less experienced players out there. So I think that while the draft capital they have is great, I think it's attractive to other teams that they can go ahead and maybe package some of those picks in, and also maybe get rid of some of the veteran players and get some other players in turn that will help the team get a little bit better, get more consistent. Because I mean, right now this is looking like a recipe for disaster, Jeff. I really don't see a silver lining here, and I try hard.
Yeah. So if there's a silver lining, it's the obvious. It's Wemby's getting more experience. He'll get bigger physically and smarter NBA IQ wise. That's a big thing. Another thing too is just it's going to force the Spurs to really evaluate what talent they have.
Yeah.
And then to really make a decision. Are we going to go forward with Sohan? Are we going to go forward with Keldon, Devin? Trey, what assets can we get for these guys? Because something's got to give. Something's got to give. They can't be. This is last season you were okay with it because we knew what the plan was to get the number one pick, and it worked out.
We knew what the assignment was, Jeff. It was tanking.
Everybody knew, so it was fine. And they lost. It's okay. We get it. Every loss was a win. And then remember at Media Day, it's about wins this season. No more losses. It's about wins. Pop said that. Devin said that. Everybody said that.
They lied to us.
And so far, it's been nothing but losses. So, but I think I still am not. I'm not at the edge of the cliff yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe 4 more wins in a row. I mean, if the Spurs go on a 10, 12 game losing streak and there's no end in sight, is it time to hit the panic button after double-digit losses in a row?
Oh, we're right there. What are we at 8 right now?
We're on the cusp.
No,
we're at 9.
We're at 9. That's right.
Yes.
One more, and that's it. So it's done.
If they go
I think Spurs fans are already there. I think they're already flipping tables and jumping off the edge.
They're ready.
They've been eliminated from the tournament already, right?
Oh,
they lost too many.
No doubt, they've already been eliminated. They've been
eliminated.
I think the last game in the tourney that they have is against the Warriors. And I mean, it's not looking good. They haven't won one game in the tourney so far. And the thing that's disappointing to me too is just beyond the tourney and the way that the Spurs have lost this season is they lose when they have double-digit leads. They lose in the third quarter. The third quarters for the Spurs have been horrible. Horrible.
They had no business losing that Toronto game. I was there, Joe, at the Frost. That was like a huge lead. I was like, all right, we're rocking and rolling here.
That was the overtime game. I was there too.
Yeah, that was the overtime. I said, there's no way the Spurs are going to blow that kind of lead on Toronto, and they did it.
Yep.
And they did it. And that's why I wasn't too surprised they blew the lead versus the Grizzlies. I was just sitting in my media seat with my hand on my chin, just looking at that club like, what is going on? Like, they can't buy a bucket? They can't defend the 3? What's up? What's going on?
Head scratcher.
Is it? If the team is going to tank, you wait for next year to tank because that's Cooper Flag.
A better draft class, yeah.
That's a draft class. You tank next year, not this year. This year's is going to be nothing but role players. That's it. But we'll see. Hopefully they'll shake it out. But what game do you think they'll snap this skid? You think it's gonna be tonight?
Let me look at the schedule real quick because I know it's gonna be tough.
We get Atlanta. Me and Rudy have Atlanta.
Okay.
We agreed on that one.
So you have the back-to-back games, against the Clippers. They're finishing their last game today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, or should I say on Friday? Not tomorrow, but Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
They're going to play the Warriors. That's the end of the in-season tournament.
That was my wild card game where they could probably snap it. Maybe against the Warriors.
The Nuggets, I give them no hope. There's no way.
Nuggets, no way.
They're going to get cooked.
Just bad.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. Unfortunately for Wemby, I mean, I'm sure that he's gonna want to go ahead and get excited for this game.
Oh, Joker's gonna toast him.
Going up against the Joker, man. I got to tell you, man, looking at Nikola Jokic, he's probably one of the best players in the NBA right now, if not the best player. This brother comes to ball every night, man, and it's like effortless with him. It's a thing of beauty to watch. I wish we had him on the Spurs team, you know?
Yep,
But
I agree.
I'm looking here, Jeff, and I got to be honest, man. The Hawks game, that one is a trap game. The Spurs could win it if they wanted to, and I would envision that they would go up by double digits early. But we know what happens. They don't have enough juice to finish the game. They'll squander it, and somehow the Hawks will find a way to win because they have more veteran experience on their team. You know, I look at the Pelicans, and I can say the same thing with them. Spurs could go up early, but then they could lose the game again.
And Zion's playing better this year.
He is, you know. They have a decent squad on paper. They're a really good squad. I'm not gonna lie, you know. But are they gonna be one of these teams that goes and contends for a title? Probably not. They might be flirting with the play-in tourney. Yeah, sure, I could believe that. The Rockets are on a tear, and this is what really upsets me as a Spurs fans. There's no love lost between Spurs fans and Rockets fans, you know, and it irks us to see that the Rockets are thriving and doing great while we're over here suffering. But at the end of the day, the only thing that could make me feel better is that the Spurs get another high pick and Rockets fans go out there crying again, you know? So I don't really care about that.
Well, they're not crying. They're definitely not crying right now. They're making fun of the Spurs right now.
Yeah, but definitely I can say it's either going to be November 30th against the Hawks, or it could be that Friday, December 1st game against the Pelicans, that I think the Spurs could finally get tired of the losing and say, you know what, maybe we should play a full 48 minutes. Because at the end of the day, Jeff, that's all it boils down to. I'm tired of listening to Coach Pop go out there and do his spew with the media. Oh, well, yeah, they just need to learn to play a full 48 minutes. No, Pop, this lineup that you have out there is just not doing it, man. Like having Jeremy at the point, that's a recipe for disaster. That's a failed experiment.
You're done with that, right?
I'm done. You know, it's not really conducive to Jeremy either. And I feel bad for him, you know, because a lot of Spurs fans are getting him a lot of flack, you know, myself included. But at the end of the day, he's asked to do something that he's not comfortable doing, a position that he's never been comfortable playing at because he's never had to. Coach Pop is now asking him to go ahead and, hey, we want you to go ahead and play point guard. But you know what? They do have another person that they're not even using, a DNP every night, Devontae Graham. Why is he never playing?
He's in some offense,
but they don't play him. Every time I'm looking at the charts at the end of the night, you look at Devontae Graham, a DNP. I'm like, what is up with this, man? Are you all just flat out just refusing to play him just why you're going to save him as trade bait? Something's going on, man. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if they announce, oh, we made a trade and we're going to package Devontae Graham with some picks or something, and boom, he's gone. I mean, it seems like they're just saving him, you know? So head scratchers all around, Jeff. But I mean, this season is going to be one that's really going to be a wasted season. It's going to be a wasted season for Wembanyama. I don't expect him to win Rookie of the Year. And the only reason is your team has to actually win a couple games. The Spurs don't even look interested in winning. They don't play him correctly. They play him out of position. You look at seeing what's going on with Chet Holmgren and the OKC, right? OKC, Oklahoma City Thunder. He just went ahead and had a great game. He went ahead and helped his team get into overtime, and they're calling him clutch. You know, they're on a different trajectory than the San Antonio Spurs. While I would love Wemby to win Rookie of the Year, I want to see Wemby go to the All-Star game. At the end of the day, if your team is not winning, it doesn't make you look very attractive, you know?
Yeah, and the thing about it too is that I just hope psychologically this team doesn't check out. And sometimes that's my biggest worry, like another loss, and they check out the season, and then that's it, they're done.
It's not good for morale, Jeff. You keep losing.
The morale is low. You can see them; they're definitely trying to keep the morale high. As mentioned, KJ was all smiles. You know, Popovich, we all heard what he had to say. I was in the last conference with Wembanyama, and somebody asked him in the room, you know, about the locker room, the vibe of the locker room, and he cut it off real fast. He was like, no, we're fine, we win together, we lose together. You know, he cut that whole thought process off quick.
Let me ask you a question, Jeff, because I know this one's going to be hard for you to answer, and you don't have to. But at some point, Spurs fans have already been saying, you know what? It's just not the Spurs players' fault. It could be, that they have to start really putting blame on the coaching staff, including Coach Pop. I can't tell
Mhm.
you to tell me if you agree with that sentiment or not, but at some point in time, who do we hold accountable for the product that's being put out there on the court? That's all I'm saying.
Man, it's like everybody. Pick
Yeah.
somebody. Players, fine, not giving the effort. Pop, maybe rotations and starting lineups, and like you mentioned, playing the Devontae Graham. What do you got to lose other than snapping a losing streak? So blame Brian Wright. Maybe he wasn't aggressive enough to flip some of these picks for players instead of flipping players for picks. So there's as of right now, there's definitely some finger pointing you can do across the whole
Across the board.
organization.
Yeah. All right. So Jeff, we're about that time. I know you got to get going here soon because you got to go ahead and cover the game
Yep,
tonight.
we
You're
gotta
going to be
start getting
rooting for the
ready.
nephew?
Crazy. By the way, did you see what this? I don't know if you went to the last Clippers game, but the last Clippers game, they did a game with fans, like blindfold a couple fans, and they try to guess what they're drinking or they're eating.
Yeah.
And they actually low key poked fun of Kawhi. They did.
I love it. I love
They
it.
had a guy dressed up in a Clippers jersey, and he was wearing jersey number 2. And in the game with the Coyote fed him toilet water, and they made the guy with the Kawhi Leonard jersey drink out of the toilet water jug.
Oh man!
So I saw that. I was like, are they really going there? Are the Spurs really taking a little small jab at Kawhi?
Wow. I love it, Jeff. You know what? One thing that you got to commend the Spurs fans for is their hate for Kawhi has not subsided, even though the years have gone on. Every time he
Spurs
touches the ball, they boo him.
Spurs fans, I gotta give them credit. Every time Kawhi touched the ball in that first Clippers game, they booed him, and you can hear it. You can hear they booed him in introduction. They booed him every time he touched the ball. They booed him when they said his name. They did the toilet water joke with the fan wearing his jersey. It was a lot of we don't forget in San Antonio.
Yeah. There's no love lost there between Spurs fans and Kawhi Leonard. You know what? I still love it, man. I've gotten over the Kawhi hurt already. I've moved on, but it's still fun to see that the Spurs fans, they boo him every chance they get.
Would you want him back? Would you
Oh,
take it back?
at this point in his career and seeing what he's become, nah, man, I'm good. I mean, there was one point
Yeah.
maybe last season where I would say, sure, let's go ahead and take him back, but seeing what he's become, he's getting up
Yeah,
there in age. He's a part-time
damaged
NBA
goods.
player.
Damaged goods.
Yeah, exactly.
He's damaged goods. You can't trust if he's going to play a full season.
Exactly. The same thing could be said for Paul George as well.
Yeah.
They never seem to stay healthy enough. And then when they get to the playoffs and okay, they get through the first round, they're going into the second round. Kawhi gets hurt, sits out. Then you know what happens? Paul George is left there to his own devices, try to go ahead and put the team on his back. He gets hurt, he's out, and it's all over. Clippers run is dead in the water. So it's like, why do they have all these guys on the team and they're paying them all that money for mediocrity in the postseason?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't make sense.
Well, I'll be at the game tonight. I'm at the point now where all I start thinking about is post game and what I'm going to ask the players. Well, that's how bad it is now. I'm like, I know what they're going to lose. I'm going to hear the same thing over and over again. We're young. We're learning. It's early. Chemistry issues, whatnot. So I'm thinking, okay, what else can I ask?
Hey, before I let you go, one question for you. It looks like Tim Gonzalez wanted to know, Jeff, what is your favorite dish for Thanksgiving? Like, what is it that you can't live without?
That's a good one. Oh, that's a really, really
Is it
good
the
one.
cranberry? Is it the stuffing? Is it the pumpkin pie?
Mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie. What else? The dinner rolls. Always that. You put the dinner roll basket in front of me. Oh, forget it. Forget about it. I'll be like, I have another one and another one.
Glistening with butter.
The butter, and then I'm gonna have to work out before I go out and have Thanksgiving with my family because I know they're gonna be stuffing everybody's faces that day.
You know what that's gonna mean, though. You know what happens is that it's a trap for you, Jeff. You get so caught up in the moment. You start eating all this food, right? And then what happens to everybody at the end of the night? Tum-tum.
Bad too.
Yeah.
Bad.
Exactly.
What about you? What size do you like?
I don't know, man. I'm really into like I like the dinner rolls. Don't get me wrong;
Yeah,
those are like crack cocaine. You eat
yeah, they
one, you're
are.
gonna keep on going after them because
Can't
they're so
stop.
good.
Yeah.
I like the stuffing, but I liked it to be baked in the oven, that kind of thing. Like almost like a casserole. That is so good, man. I can't help myself, man. I got to go and have that. But the thing is, you start eating that stuff and you got to be careful, man. You got to slow your roll with that because it'll come back and haunt you later on with indigestion and stuff. You
Do you eat
know,
all the pies and everything?
I do like the pies though. I do like making pumpkin pie and apple pie. So every year I make an apple pie and I make a pumpkin pie. And this for
Mm-hmm.
my daughter. My daughter always tells me that it is not going to be Thanksgiving unless she makes pies with me. It's a tradition we have. So
Mm-hmm.
we always make pumpkin pie and apple pie because the apple pie is her favorite. I love it too, but she really loves it. So we make both from scratch. We make an apple pie and a pumpkin pie. We enjoy it. But I got to say, man, I still like me some turkey, man. I like the turkey with the turkey gravy on it, you know?
Do you eat before the Cowboys game or eat during the Cowboys game?
Oh no, I'd probably eat before, because
You eat
I want to
before.
enjoy my meal, man. I don't want to look at the
Yeah.
Cowboys losing again. They've lost with the last couple of times already on Thanksgiving. They're going to play the Commanders. They lost to the Commanders last year. It's a trap game for me. If the Cowboys win, great. If they lose again, I won't say that I'm surprised. But I have expectations of the Cowboys, should I say, actually winning for us this time on Thanksgiving because it appears that Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson have made nice, Jeff. He's going to put them in the ring of honor. Maybe
The
the
curse
curse
is
will
lifted.
finally lift it. Yes, sir.
That might be it. That might be the key. Hopefully it'll work, man. But no, I like eating while during the game. Like I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I'll eat during the game. That's fine. I know some of my family members they have to finish everything first because they don't want to miss a second. Like I'm looking down or Dak throws something or gets intercepted. But
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'll eat during. I don't care.
You're going to go work out the day afterwards? You can be on the treadmill?
I'm gonna work out the day morning of and then the day after, man, because I know I'm gonna be stuffing my face.
Be in a food coma. You're going to have to wear the stretchy pants, Jeff.
Well, yeah. I mean, thankfully, I'm gonna go in sweatpants and a sweatshirt for my family's.
and a bib. And a bib.
And a bib, and that's it. Tennis shoes and bring in flip flops so I can relax and
night after you eat, right? You're gonna go take you a nap somewhere.
yeah. And I have a big family, and then it's gonna be at my cousin's house.
Yeah.
This year, and then she's a newlywed, so her husband's family is coming over. So that's two families merging together tomorrow. So it's gonna be double. So I'm expecting pandemonium.
Oh God. All right, Jeff. Well, I'll go ahead and let you go, man. I greatly appreciate you again coming out here and spending some time with us because this is going to be a short show, but hopefully the Spurs will win one for you tonight as you're there watching the game.
Yes, sir. All right. Talk to you later, Joe.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, don't forget. Yeah. You're backup tomorrow. You're backup.
I am. If you need me, let me know.
You're backup. You're backup in case Jimenez bails on me again.
More than likely, there's a 99% chance that I might have to actually do the show, man. I'll just put it
don't be surprised. So if you look down, it's about 9:30 in the morning. If I say, Joe, you're up, you know what happened.
And if Jimenez big times you again tomorrow, we're going to cook his ass. We're going to put hashtag cook. Yes, sir.
Yes. All right, later.
All right, man, later. All right, so that was Jeff Garcia. Make sure you go and follow him again and go ahead and follow the Locked On Spurs podcast. But before we end this show, we're going to go ahead and give some love out to our sponsors here, and that would be MCS General Contracting. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. Yeah, so make sure you do go ahead and call MCS General Contracting. If you want things done right, if you need a patio, you need a driveway, or you need some repair for your, concrete needs at all, you maybe think about putting in a pool, make sure you go ahead and call MCS General Contracting. And yes, Chris, as we always say, MCS General Contracting is known for having the hardest concrete in the business. It's diamond hard. No Viagra needed. Hey, maybe we can go ahead and get Jimenez out there to go ahead and assist Chris with the pour sometime. The weather's getting cold. Maybe we can get him out there. I know Jimenez is always saying he's an indoor dog. Maybe we can he can make an exception for you, Chris. We got to get him out there on site, and we need video and photos of it for sure. Y'all are still giving Jimenez shit. Look at this. Swiss, hey, Jimenez, don't forget to carve up that white meat for Thanksgiving. Look, that was Mike Jimenez. That was Mike Jimenez's hand. Man, you guys are crazy, man. Oh, look at that. I'm sure he can, Chris. I'm sure he can. Chris Leja, he can't hang. I got no doubt in my mind that he can't. I don't think he can finish a full shift. He'll probably be out there just for like 10, 15 minutes, and he'll be like, all right, man, take these botas off of me, my boots. I'm ready to go back home. Look at this. Mario Cavazos. Nombre, his manicure will get messed up. No lies detected, bro. I'm not going to say you're not lying there. But, we're going to have a good show on Friday. We might have Chris Leja in the studio. We might not. We're going to see. But I can tell you who for sure we're going to have in the studio on Friday. We are going to have our good friend Spur Hernandez and Chicana Fuerte, also known as Stephanie Mejia. They're going to be in here. Maybe we'll go ahead and have a couple manmosas. Maybe we'll be drunk by the end of the show. Who knows? But it'll be a fun show nonetheless. We're going to go ahead and have some drinking. We're going to do some day drinking on Friday. So hopefully you boys can join us as we talk about everything and anything that has to do in the world of sports. So with that, we're going to go ahead and end this show. Hopefully all you guys have a great Thanksgiving. We appreciate all the support that you've given us so far. Believe me, I appreciate it. I know Jimenez does. But you know what? Since it is the season of giving here, I hope Swiss can bless us with a really good meme of Jimenez, maybe dressed as a pilgrim for Turkey Day. That would make my day. The call has been put out to you, Swiss. Do your thing, man. Oh, look at Cabazos. Orale, we got to go and support John Jay. They're in the playoffs. You know what? No doubt, man. I'm always for John Jay doing good. They're just right here, stone throws away from me, man. I'm over here on Marbach. So they're just down the road from me past the 410. Yeah. So go John Jay Mustangs. All right, boys, we'll go ahead and end the show at that. We'll see you guys on Friday. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.